Good day and welcome to our unboxing, setup, and full review, including some testing, of the Maoano AU-PM461. And in case you're wondering, I have something that sounds like that, but not that exact one. Yeah, there's a lot of them. So I'll put up a little picture that shows you there's a lot of PM461s, and they're all the same mic. The differences, by the way, are things like what the holder is, lights. This is the base mic. So if you're, I'm just worried about sound quality for this one. If you're looking for a boom arm to hold this, yep, they sell that. It's in blah, 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 PM461 something. The PM461 is the key here. Okay, now, obviously I haven't opened this. By the way, this, it was unlocked already. That's nice. Now, this is, just to be clear, a completely unpaid and unsponsored review. Maoano did not send this to me. I bought it. I paid $30 Canadian for it. I've tried cheaper mics. They've just not been working. What I'm looking for in particular, actually, I'll put a link in the top right-hand corner explaining what to look for in a mic. I'll explain, all of these terms, and I'll do it quickly, by the way. I'll explain what cardioid means, and microphone efficiency, sampling rate, and all of that stuff, so you can figure out in like 2 minutes what you're actually looking for, what you care about. Now, what I'm looking to do is replace the really terrible microphones in that computer, which is my brand new HP 27 CA1000 series, and that's a 27-inch all-in-one, and the dual microphones that are in there are horrible. And because I live and work in IT, and I work from home mostly, I need this to be awesome. Okay, enough of that. Let's look at the box and see if there's anything you care about there. I don't see anything, by the way. Again, it's using lots of special terms like cardioid and whatever. I'm not going to explain those here because I'll put that link in the top right corner. If you care, you can read about it. We'll explain, what a broadcast mic is versus a condenser mic and things like that. Okay, let's get to it. Enough yimmering and yammering, right? User manual. Boy, that'll be useful. And, okay, as you'd expect, tripod. Now, the only thing you really want to look for in a tripod is, well, that it's solid. But I heard some people trying to pitch this as metal is better than plastic and blah. Really? It's not going to be a problem. Anyway, whatever. What you're looking for is rubber feet because you want it to avoid sound to be transmitted through. You're also looking for something, generally speaking, that can be mounted in different ways. This one can be mounted on a tripod or it can be mounted on a boom arm or whatever else. So that's a good thing. Okay, now let's take a look at the mic. This is surprisingly not heavy at all. I just reviewed a really terrible mic that had at least twice the heft of this. This feels very light, very non-substantial, which, well, hopefully that's not an indication of what's going on. What we have in here is a cardioid mic, which is a mic that's directional, basically, and it has a simple volume control. Oh, thank God they actually labeled it properly. Gain. It's not volume, it's gain, which is, I guess for the layman, that's the same thing. But yeah, you want to be louder, turn up the gain, okay? There's no lights on this. They do sell a model with LED lights in here. The problem with it is that you can't turn those off. By the way, that's the one labeled a PM461T RGB. And the lights, I'm not opposed to having the lights come through and change and looks kind of cool, except you can't turn them off. So that's maddening. Okay, and then there's a USB cable. I could get into explaining the different types, but it doesn't make any difference. It's a USB cable. There, that looks fine. And this has a nice little clamp to tighten things up. And what we want it to be is facing out. And I want to put it on here and just spin it on. Sit and spin, boys and girls. Sit and spin. There's really 3 different microphones you're going to hear right now for comparison. The first is what you're listening to now, which is my Samsung S22 cell phone mic, and that is beautiful, really good. Does great noise cancellation. It's great. Then I'll kick over to the ones that are built in on the HP 27-inch all-in-one, and then we'll kick this in, so you'll be able to get a pretty good comparison as to what's what. Okay, so let's put this in. There, that just plugs in the bottom. Okay, so now we're talking on my HP, and you can hear that the sound is just not very good. Right-click on the sound, the speaker icon at the bottom right. Click on Sounds. That'll bring up the old-school audio control panel, and we want to click on Recordings. And there's the microphone I'm using currently. If you want to see what the new Windows 10, Windows 11 interface looks like, just right-click and go to Open Sound Settings, and it'll be the same thing, but prettier. The other thing we want to do is, just for demonstration here, is go into Device Manager so you can see that this plugin plays instantly. It's going to show up under sound and audio, and it's also going to show up under audio inputs and outputs. And there's something very important you'll see when I plug this in that you don't see with other microphones. At least I think. Now, I've not plugged this in before. I really don't know, but it better or it's going back. Okay? And you can plug it in now into a USB port, and bingo, shows up instantly. All right, so now I'm on the Maoano PM461. I'll explain a couple of things that you don't get from the other videos, at least that I've watched about this. Most of these guys just say, yeah, it's a condenser mic and it's kind of cool and blah, blah, but they don't really explain what it is and why it's better. In particular, what you really got to look for with these things. So the first thing is, in this case, the gain that I've got set, in other words, that volume button on the front, is turned up to 100. Second thing, let's go into the microphone itself in the software. And we'll go to levels, and you can see here it's also set to 100, as it should be. The microphone, yeah, I want it to pick up everything it can. And let's go to advanced, and this is where the joy comes in. When you click on advanced, yes, it's got enable audio enhancements, which you definitely want to have on. This is the killer right here. This allows 24-bit recording at high hertz, high frequency. This is what you want. HP All-in-One have mics that run at just 16-bit. 48 kilohertz. That's brutal. You need to get at least a 24-bit. And when you're looking for a mic, again, we'll put a link in the top right-hand corner explaining in just a couple of minutes what you need to look for. But that is your critical thing. That if you at least get up to 24-bit, you're happy. Okay, so I've set this now to 192 kilohertz. That's pretty freaking high. You probably don't need it anywhere near that high. Okay, so I've just jumped this down to 24-bit 96 kilohertz. So let's see what this sounds like with my test. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. Peter picked the heck out of that pack of pickled peppers. Well, it was actually a peck, not a pack. How'd that sound? You would notice a difference between that 48 to 96. There is a jump there. Most people can't hear up this high. So, okay, a couple of points I think are obvious, but I know people are going to ask, so I will explain them. Yes, this works fine on a Mac as well. It's just as easy for plug and play. No drivers, just plug it in. Mac OS will recognize it. I believe all recent versions from OS X up, High Sierra, Mountain Lion, and all of the new ones, that'll work just fine on. The length of the cable is also something people always ask about. And well, you can look it up when you buy it. It does come with different lengths depending on the model year. And if the cable's not the right length, just go buy a different one. It's just a standard USB cable that you can get pretty much anywhere. Now, the ultimate question, am I going to keep this? Yep, this is really ideal. This is the best quality, cheapest mic I can find. Maoano has a good brand reputation. The product seems to work just fine. It's a little larger than I would like, but it can tuck near my computer, and right now it's on the far left and I'm just looking towards it and talking. I'm not raising my voice, and it's doing a great job. So hey, if you found this video useful, please give us a like. Just the thumbs up's a big deal. It really helps with the algorithms. You can always click subscribe as well. That wouldn't hurt. You know, you can always get a hold of us at www.urtech.ca. That's www.urtech.ca. But if you want, just leave a comment in the comment section below, and if we don't get back to you, somebody else will, because you know it's YouTube and everybody has an opinion. Just be polite. Thanks, we hope this helped, and have yourself a great day. Bye-bye.